Hello, and welcome to Meet Your Maker, the newly released game by Behavior Interactive, known for Dead by Daylight. And in this video, I want to showcase the traps and modifications to set traps in Meet Your Maker. Well, let's get straight to it. Now, the first trap we will take a look at is the Boltshot Trap, which basically fires a volley of arrows down a hallway, as you can tell, without any range add-ons, well, mods. Its range is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks. But this range, marked by this line, is only the activation range. As you can tell, there are more symbols down here. These three symbols showcase the actual kill range of the trap, because its arrows will fly further than its activation range. But just take a look. So anybody standing up until here will get killed by this trap. Now, the trap on the right side contains the Hunter mod. This mod makes the arrows home in on your target. However, there's a huge drawback which is not included in the description. The Hunter mod significantly decreases the travel time of the arrows, which in turn means less range. Take a look. As I said, both of them don't contain a range mod, so they should both fly the same distance. But they don't. As you can tell, there's quite a huge difference. It's noticeable, I would assume. Now, as I said, there is a range mod for the Boltshot Trap. Basically, this is without the mod, the activation range. Once again, it's 8 blocks. And with the mod, it's 9 blocks in total for the activation range. However, the Overshot mod, that's how it's called, also increases the kill zone range, as you can tell, in comparison with the unmodded one. I'm just gonna showcase it to you. Quite a close call, I would say. Yeah, it's a significant upgrade in range. But once again, the one on the right side contains the Hunter mod, which, as you have seen earlier, decreases the travel time. Not the travel time, the travel speed of the arrows. Just take a look at it. As a comparison, without the Hunter mod. And once again, both of these traps contain the range add-on. So it's quite a difference in range, as you can tell. It's not included in the description of the mod, so keep that in mind if you want to install both of them. Gotta keep that in mind unless you create a kill box. In the kill box you want to overwhelm your target with as much as you can. Range doesn't really matter for it. Anyways, that's it for the Boltshot Trap. Next we will take a look at the Holo Cube. You can once again see the lines. It has a range mod. Who would have thought? In this case it's an increase of 2 blocks. And basically if I enter this block, the Holo Cube will disappear. Same with this one. Self-explanatory, I guess. However, this trap also contains a perfect picture mod. As you can tell, this Holo Cube right here has some flickering going on, or some wave-like movement on its surface, so you can tell it apart from normal blocks. And with the picture perfect mod, which... Damn it. I knew that would happen. With the picture perfect mod, it's much harder to spot said movement on the surface. I knew this was gonna happen. Anyways, take a look. Can you spot some movement? I'm not sure if it's gonna be able spottable, not able, spottable in the video, but there's a slight movement on the surface. So yeah, that's the picture perfect mod. There's one more mod for the Holo Cube, which makes guards treat the Holo Cube like a solid block. Without this mod, guards will fall through the trap, the Holo Cube, which I will showcase here, because on top of this small construction are two warmongers. They are both set to patrol down the Holo Cube, which I need to activate by grabbing the gen material, which I just did. So as you can tell, this one appears, this one won't. Why? Because this trap, as I said, contains the mod which lets guards treat this Holo Cube like any other solid block. So now let's remove it. Oh look, there he is. I guess that's kind of self-explanatory. As a side note, the Holo Cube doesn't disappear if a guard falls through it, so keep that in mind. And yeah, that's about it with the Holo Cube. Let's move on to the next one. Now the next trap is the Iron Claw. I'm not sure why there's a destroyed claw on the ground. Anyways, the Iron Claw doesn't have any range add-ons, well, mods. However, it has a mod where it can grapple twice. As you can tell, we once again have a death zone marker, because it doesn't activate in here. It activates around this line. I'm sorry, my game decided to crash. So yeah, that's great. We are back now. Like I wanted to say earlier, we are taking a look at the Claw Trap. The Claw Trap has 4 mods, if I remember correctly. I mean, every trap contains the second wave mod, which basically hides the trap until you pick up the gen material. So we're talking about 3 mods right now. The first one allows the trap to grapple you twice. And once again, you can see we have a line that shows the activation range. It's 4 blocks in total, and the kill zone area. Because once again, the trap's range is 1 tile further than its activation range. Let me show you. As you can see, it activated. It's not activated in the kill zone, but it's gonna activate now. We are in the kill zone, it's gonna grapple us and wheel us in. So keep that one in mind. Now you can break the grapple while it's flying at you or while you are getting wheeled in. So that's good to know. Don't panic, just whack it. Now the first mod, significant mod I would say, is a faster wheel in speed. So once the trap has grabbed you, it's gonna pull you in much faster. Take a look. It's really significant. Like it doesn't leave a lot of reaction time. As a comparison, the next trap is the opposite. The claw trap itself will shoot out faster, but it is a wheel in speed is normal. As you can tell. The next one combines both in one. Like this, it's quite fast. And surprise you if you're not ready for it. That's about it for the claw trap. Let's move on to the spike trap. The mods for the spike trap aren't really significant, but well, they exist. The first one is the Relentless mod. Basically allows it to attack an infinite amount of times with low cooldown. Usually this trap closes down after its first strike. This is also a good example. You can run into the spikes from the side and you won't die. But if you walk into the front of it, which I can showcase with the barricade mod, which leaves the spikes exposed for some time, and if you walk into it, you die. Now this trap will retract on its own and close down. And the last one is basically, if you destroy the trap, it's gonna explode after a few seconds. Keep in mind, this explosion has a radius of 1 block in any direction, and it will destroy and kill any of your own traps and guards. So yeah, keep that in mind. Now, I've forgotten one trap over by the Boltshots. It's a flammenwerfer trap. It has a range add-on. I always say add-on because I play too much Dead by Daylight. When I say add-on, I mean mod, okay? Anyways, it has a range mod. The range gets increased by 1 more block to a total of 5 blocks. As you can tell, this is an unmodded trap. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once again, it's the activation to it range. I'm safe here. But the second I step onto this line, I will die. As you can see. So yeah, keep that in mind. Now the next one contains the additional range and the napalm add-on, which basically lights any surface it hits on fire, as you can tell. Now, its time to kill is not the fastest, so I'm not really a big fan of it. As you can see, it takes quite some time before you die. So yeah, but it will slow down any player. And the last one contains the range, as you can tell. And also an eruption mod, which basically unleashes a small explosion after firing. The explosion won't destroy itself, like it won't destroy the trap. But once again, it's gonna destroy any trap in a 1 block radius around it, even above. So once again, keep that in mind when using this trap. Now let's move on to the Death Piston. So this one doesn't have any mods. This one contains the barricade mod, which basically leaves it extended for a few more seconds, blocking the way of any raider. As you can tell the difference. These 3 all contain the randomized pattern mod, so they attack in a randomized pattern, obviously. And this one has the barricade mod as well. Just to showcase that the time, how long it's extended, is not randomized. It's always the same duration. Obviously, it also has a mod which will kill any raider that touches the wet, hot, molten metal at the tip of it. But yeah, it's about the Death Piston. Next one is the Bomb Trap. Now, the Bomb Trap. It also has, as you can tell, a range mod. Its base range is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiles. And the range mod increases it by 2, up to 7. However, it's only the activation range. It doesn't increase the range of the bombs. Just take a look. So yeah, it's only the activation time. By the way, it also goes for the vertical side. This one is 5 tiles, so it should activate once I walk under it. And yep, it does. And this one shouldn't, because it's 1 more up. As you can tell, if I jump, it will activate. Same goes for this one. It's the one with the additional range, so it's 7 tiles. Time to die, I guess. Or not. That's the fun part about bomb traps. It's completely up to RNGesus if you're gonna die or not. But there are 2 more mods. One is called, I think, the Sticky Bomb mod, which basically makes them bounce around much less. Just take a look at it. I'm pretty sure its explosion radius is also increased, but I'm not sure. It's kinda hard to exactly gauge it. And as you can tell, the explosion once again destroys and kills your own guards and traps. Keep it in mind. And now let's take a look at Chaos Bombs. They bounce a lot more. Like, a lot. As you can tell. And just to showcase the destruction of your own traps once more. Yep. Self-explanatory. Obviously, keep in mind, you can manipulate the path of the bombs with blocks, especially the chaos ones, because they bounce around much more. So you can yeet them down a hallway if you wish to. Now it's gonna get a bit more complicated with the Sentinel, for which we'll go into the building mode to get an aerial view. Why do I always say these special words if my English pronunciation is so garbage? Anyways, as you can tell, I've done something. It's roughly the range in which the trap will activate and shoot at you, and this one doesn't contain any mods, as you can see. So just another look at it. That's the range. This one you can already spot it's bigger because it does have a range mod installed. Compare them both. You can clearly spot the difference. It's almost 50% bigger. How big is the range exactly? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with the mod. And it should be 6 without it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now there's one problem with how I did it. It's not really perfect. It's only an estimate of the range. As you can tell, it's gonna lock on here. However, here it won't lock on, even though I am in the block. It will only activate once I enter this area. As you can see. So it's not perfect, it's only an estimate, but it's better than nothing, I guess. There's one more mod. Well, two more. One basically makes the trap explode once it's destroyed. And it leaves a small AoE damage bubble behind. And the other one is... I forgot the name of it. It basically shoots out a ball, and if that ball impacts any surface, it leaves a damaging bubble around it. So let's take a look at it. As you can see, kills you somewhat quickly. To be honest, I find it's too long. As a comparison, an acid cube kills you much quicker. Like, almost twice as fast, it feels like. Anyways, let me showcase you the explosion. Or not. As you can see, there's a damaging bubble. It's quite big, but honestly, I don't expect anyone will die from it. Once again, the explosion breaks other traps and guards. Keep that in mind. Next one is the acid cube. It has 4 mods, if I remember correctly. Let's take a look at the first one. It contains the opaque mod, which, well, can't look through it. It's obvious, I guess. And the hard skin mod, as you can tell by the beehive-like pattern or hexagon pattern on its surface. Basically means you can't go through it. You can also not shoot through it. Your balls will stick to the surface of it. Now, these acid cubes are kind of buggy right now. Let me show you. You can grapple onto the surface and you should die, but for some reason you don't take any damage. Now I did die. Let's try again. Yep, again. However, let's shoot a bit at it. Okay, right now it doesn't want to work. Now it does. As you can tell, I grappled onto it, and I'm not taking any damage. Now, I did take damage. It's a bit inconsistent, so yeah, keep that in mind. Now the next one, I'm sorry. Basically, it will shoot out a small splash of acid if anything, I mean anything, impacts with the cube. As you can see. Even if you grapple or attack it with your melee? No? Well, it should, but it doesn't. Yeah, as I said, these acid cubes are really inconsistent. I'm gonna show you one more thing. You can always grapple through a single acid cube. Always. As you can see. However, with the splashing mod, if you stand too close and grapple, you will die at the end of the grapple. I'm not sure why. And it's only happening if you grapple from a really close distance to the cube. Like, if you go to the wall, I'm not gonna die. Like, I'm fine, as you can see. So keep that one in mind when you try to grapple through them. Now the next one contains the splashing and the hard skin, as you can tell. So once again, our bolts will stick to it, and as you can see, for some weird reason it doesn't always spawn a pile of goo, or whatever you want to call it. Now it didn't, again, now it did. Great. Just as a comparison, here it does every single time. Same goes for the grapple. Doesn't always shoot out a blob. So it's really inconsistent. I do not recommend this one. And the last one is basically splashes and unable to look through. This one works as intended. However, also this one suffers from the grapple bug. Too close and you die. Yeah, it's really weird. I don't know why it's so inconsistent. Look, now I died from this side. Earlier I didn't. It's weird. Anyways, that's about it. That covers every trap and every mod currently in the game. I know this video is missing the guards. I'm aware of that. The reason is that I'm still trying to unlock all the mods for them. So I will make that video once I unlock them. Anyways, I hope my spelling was fine, and no, it's not the best. And I hope you had some fun and found some interesting facts about the traps and mods in the game. Please leave some comments and criticism down in the comments. I would really appreciate it, because it's, well, kind of my first time making a video. I hope it's fine. And I guess I'll see you next time, and good luck waiting.